Welcome, kings and queens, to another episode of Unapologetic, your #1 podcast. This is the show where kings and queens tell their legacies and on. So get ready for the gems to drop and pull up to the table because we're ready.
And that's the type of love that my organization provides. You know, I had some people tell me that what I was doing was unique. And they was like, why are you so different? Well, I'm different because I'm different.
I was asking your question with the same question asked. Like that,
I don't want to be like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
I
I don't
understand.
I want
I
to be able to
totally
create
agree.
my own plates and
Right.
be able to let other people eat off my plate instead of me going on the same plates with everybody else, and then I'm getting kibbles and bits and everybody else getting full. So if I find a different plate and make my own, I can fill that up all I want to.
Exactly,
You
man.
know, it's like Uncle Ruckus said, like I used to say on the Boondocks, have that itis once you get done. And that's the type of food I want to be able to dish out to these kids.
That's what's up.
I'm sorry. They're going to be so full that they had an itis when we get done. So that's what makes us so different. We don't teach normal like everybody else do. We teach that old-fashioned Medea home type of way. And I tell everybody that because this is what those kids need. They need to know we're not giving up on them no matter what you do. No matter, I don't care how many times you go out there in them streets and act a fool. I'ma get you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not agreeing to what you're doing, but I'm still gonna love you no matter what. And I'm gonna keep on loving you because right now you showing me that for some reason you can't accept this love. Because if you could accept that
That's
love,
deep.
you wouldn't be making them bad choices that you're making.
That's deep. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these kids need. They just need somebody to show them, like, yo, like, I'm not gonna give up on you no matter what. And then
So
some of them, they done got so far into it, it's like it's hard to bring them back. Like for
it
real,
is.
I have a lot of kids that really think the way they live is life. And that's sad to me. You know, I look at how I was raised, and I was blessed to be adopted and to be able to be raised into a two-parent family home with good careers. You know, I was blessed. My biological siblings, they weren't as blessed as I was, you know? So I look at that. And
So are you trying to, it sounds like you're trying to heal from a wound that you endured from the past. Because you're hit, you know what I mean? You're like,
it does help me heal. It
yeah,
does. It
yeah.
helps me heal. That's why I always tell people, these kids don't know. They help me more than I help them. You know, because these kids, when they are receptive to me,
Right.
that lets me know that I'm actually breaking ground. I'm making an impact. When I get hugs, I'm like, oh wow, you know, you
Right. It's
actually,
passionate. That's a
yeah,
real
it's
hug.
like, you know, and kids, they're gonna really tell you if they like you or not.
Oh yeah, the kid tell
You
it
know,
like it
you gonna
is.
know if a kid not feeling
Yeah.
you or not.
Oh yeah.
And with my program, if the kids say something boring, I'm like, okay, what can we do next week so we won't be bored? Because I want to keep your attention. I want to keep your mind open and focused. I want to be able to teach you different things in a different way, you know? Um, and it's so much that we can teach these kids, but we just have to learn how to come at them and where their level is. You know, I'm not saying you got to be all ghetto all the time. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you find out how they learn. Like me, I'm learning that most of my programs, our kids learn hands on.
Yeah. When I came and visited, through our business wise, but also just to see the program at hand. That was a packed classroom. That was crazy.
So
That
you should see my after
that
school
was
classes right
packed
now.
class, and they were all different ages and sizes, and and it was it felt good, but certain things that I heard some of the kids were talking about, describing that they're living in, where it almost made me feel like, man, I should go talk to your pops, man. What's wrong with him? Or your
Hmm.
mother? How are you allowing this to go on? And these kids are not even old enough to drive. You know, these are babies, and they're talking in a manner where I think that they are adults, and it's scary.
It is, but you have to learn how to redirect in a positive way that it doesn't offend the parents and it
Right.
doesn't offend the kids. And I guess that's
Okay.
why
That's kind
I
of hard too.
it is. But once you have to build the trust up first.
Yep, of course.
Once you build that relationship
Hmm.
with that parent to where, okay, that parent trusts you to be like, okay, you know what? I know Miss Michelle don't mean me no harm. She just keeping it real with me.
Right.
And that takes time.
Excuse me.
I'm not gonna lie, that really does. You don't do it in the first year, you don't do it in the second year, you barely getting it done in the third year. I have parents now that'll reach out to me for everything, and I love it. Now, can I help everybody? No. Lord knows I
Right.
wish I could, you know, and I try to find other organizations that can. But what I've learned to realize is like the real help, it's hard for our parents to get it. And you have a lot of single parents with 3 or 2 kids. And
Right.
when they get caught in binds, it's hard for them. And they lash out and the kids see that.
Yeah, because kids are like, we absorb what we see as adults, so
Mhm.
it's they're on a scale, I feel like, that's God proportion. Like, it's everything they see, smell, touch, feel, it's like, oh my God, it's for the first time. And
It
so the
is.
body is going to try to remember as much as it possibly can so it can protect itself or whatever it needs to do. And your organization is, it hits all everything that you could possibly think of. You're learning about hygiene and the better ways to take care of yourself physically. You're teaching the kids educational standpoints and curriculums that they need work on after school. You know, I can't do this, Mama Michelle. I don't know what to do. Come on, let's sit down and I help you, get this going.
Mhm.
When I was at the program, the I had a how old was this young lady? She was 6 years old, and she taught me how to work an app on my phone. You know what I'm saying? That I've been trying to figure out for a month. I was like, "What the? Are you serious?" Having a full-fledged conversation with me, and I'm like, "These kids are intelligently
Yes.
scary," and it's like you just created a safe haven for all that knowledge and all that hurt and aggression, because you see it in their faces,
Mhm.
certain kids, and you don't want them to hide it no longer. You got to release some of this, man. You too young to be this angry. Why you so
And that's what
angry?
I tell them. Like my middle school kids at Muskegon Middle, when I first started there, um, I asked them 3 things that they needed to work on, and mostly every last one of them said was anger and their attitude.
Wow, really?
Really, and I'm
Wow.
like, okay, so we just started generating exercises to kind of put them in groups to kind of help them work on that. Because when you're in groups and working as a team, you have to learn how to compromise. You have to learn how to listen.
Yeah, true.
So we try to do a lot of group activities for them. And like right now, we teaching them financial literacy.
And far as what goes far as what?
We have a right now they do a project to where they have we have like 4 groups, and each groups has a total of $3,000 and bring home money. That's what they're bringing home. Out of
Okay.
that 3,000, they have to budget, but they got to pay their rent. They got to pay their lights, all
What?
of that, everything, food,
You
how to
gonna make
get to
me
work,
call all my kids up.
how you gonna communicate.
Wow.
Because people think, especially our youth, they think it's so easy because parents make it so easy. And back when I was coming up, we got allowance.
Mhm.
And we had to learn how to budget. Like, okay, if you
Right,
spend this money, then you're not gonna have nothing else because I'm not giving you no more allowance. And I know a lot of people, some people didn't get allowances, but I did,
right.
and I had to learn that if I spent all my money at one time, I was gonna be broke.
Of course, yeah.
Now, remind you,
Instantly.
I've always been a hustler type of kid, so I always find
Mm.
different ways to come up with some
Right,
money. But
you know it, you know it. You got to.
it was just the thought, like, dang, I get this money and it goes so quick. And I really wanted our kids to be mindful. It's like, okay, look, y'all need to start thinking of this stuff because
Right.
18 come real quick. Then half of y'all gonna be out here and don't know what to do. And then we had to get them like thinking about like life after graduation because a lot of them wasn't even thinking about that direction.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
It's like, oh, I'm just gonna do me. What you mean you just gonna do you? You gonna get a job? You gonna be a bum?
Or you
And that's
going to
how
the
I come down. I'm
military
like,
or
what you
what you
gonna
gonna
do?
yeah.
I'm like, because if you're gonna be a bum, don't no female want you. Same thing for a female. Don't no man want you if you're gonna be a bum. You gotta get out here and do something.
Hmm.
And so I love my middle schoolers because it really, really, they really participate in everything. Like
Oh, for
they
real?
take it,
Okay.
yes. And it was a shock to me. And believe it or not, my boys, the basketball team, they are really doing good on this assignment, like this project. They was like,
Yeah.
okay, look, can we change how we doing our transportation? Can we get a moped? I'm like, yeah, but y'all get a moped. You got to realize you're gonna rain sometimes and snow. You're gonna be cold, but it's cheaper on gas, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be cold. And they're like,
Yeah.
Then they was like, well, they had a 1 bedroom and a 2 bedroom to choose from. So they was like, we finna get 4 air mattresses and we're gonna put 4 in one room and 4 in the other. Because it was 8 kids in a group. So they was like, shoot,
Oh,
we gonna
okay.
get these air mattresses and we just gonna put 4 in each room. And I'm like, okay, y'all thinking. And my girls was like, oh no, we finna take the bus. How much is the bus? Because you
Right.
can get a transfer and you don't got to be worried about being in the cold. I'm like, that's how you think. So you
That's
just gotta.
smart.
I'm
Wow.
really really enjoying it because I really get to see these kids think, and do something different. And then just like my high schoolers, we took in Miss Marcia for hair, teaching them just like the basics of hair care. And both schools was really, really receptive. And even the guys, learning how to cut with the clippers. You had a couple that already knew. So it was really, really good. I hear a lot of people say what they want to do. I'm the type of person, if I say I want to do something, I'm just gonna do it. Like
Right.
like if you come to me
Keep
with
it
an
real.
idea and I think it's gonna work, come on. Like it's not all about me. I want to see young people shine. So when Marcia reached out to me, I'm like, you know what? Come on, let's do this again. I said, this time I'm in the schools. I said, and I think that
That's
would
what's
be
up.
very good for you. And
Yeah.
then next year you sign up to be a vendor and you give back your skills. You know, a lot of people when they do this, they always want to charge, to teach these kids something. And if you really have a passion for the kids, you ain't gonna charge.
Hmm.
You really gonna just offer your services, whether it's 1 day a week, 2 days a week. You're gonna offer that service. I'm not saying you're supposed to just give up your whole bankroll,
Right.
to do this. But what all I'm saying is everything don't have to be at a set price.
But that's the mindset now with just
Yes,
in
it
the
is.
business and not just business, just in our society alone. And even in our community, and I'm just being frank, y'all. That's why it's Unapologetic Podcast. A lot of a lot of people are saying that I support you. I want to support the kids. Yeah, sure. Just point me in the right direction. And when you reach out to them in certain aspects, they're blind, deaf, and can't walk.
Oh, totally. I
You know what
totally,
I mean?
yes.
But you see them with the popular individuals, the people that are
Mhm.
popping or that that build their name and all this other stuff, and then you're like, you're just following the same guidelines that our
Yes,
society is doing, and it's not helping the community. It's
not at
like
all.
you
I
can't
had somebody
complain,
ask me,
you know.
Michelle, like, do you uh collaborate with other organizations?